Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Industrial Revolution. We're going to be talking about some of the inventions that were made and a little bit about how they affected people's lives. This is part one of three videos on the Industrial Revolution, a very quick summary, and yeah, let's get started. The first invention we're talking about is the seed drill. And how the seed drill worked was it was a pretty much a box, as you can see on the screen, and that was filled with seeds. The box was given wheels, the horses were attached to it, and as the horses pulled this contraption, it would make holes and distribute the seeds evenly onto the field. So instead of the farmer having to first go make the holes in the field, put each seed down. It actually saved them a lot of time. So the seed drill, one of the first inventions of the Industrial Revolution, which made life a lot easier for the farmers. The second one is the steam engine. Now, the steam engine is probably one of the biggest game changers during the Industrial Revolution. The first thing I do have to say, though, is that people mix up steam engine and steam train all the time. The steam engine is the part in the steam train that helps it to move. But the steam engine can be used for lots of different purposes. But let's have a look at how it works first. So as you can see, how does the steam engine work? There is a boiler at the bottom that is filled with coal that is set on fire, and above that there is a tank with water. As the water boils, it turns into steam, which in turn goes up these little pipes and moves the piston up and down. So as the steam gets hotter, the piston moves up. As it cools down, the piston moves down. So the piston is just going up, down, up, down. And attached to that is an arm, and in this case, there is a wheel attached to it. So as the piston moves up and down, the arm moves up and down, and so the wheel starts to turn. But if we were to take the wheel out, for example, and put an axe at the bottom, so then as the steam heats up, piston moves up and down, and this time if the arm is attached to an axe, then the axe would start chopping. So this time we've made a wood chopping machine. But the steam engine was actually used for a lot more than just transport and chopping wood. It was also used in the mines. One of the problems in the mines was that every time it rained, the mines would flood up, and it would take them a really long time to get the water out of the mines. So what they use is they use the steam engine to be able to pump the water out of the mine. So instead of the piston being attached to a wheel, they attached it to the pump. So as the piston came in, the water would be sucked in, and then it would be removed and put somewhere else. So that was one of the bigger ones. The second thing that it did was it helped us with trade. Not only was smelting metal and iron a lot easier, it also made us being able to make bridges, roads, canals. It made it faster for us to travel. It was able to make us travel over places that we could never have gone to before. And so people now, with so much freedom of movement, were able to transport items and therefore starting importing and exporting. The next invention, which doesn't seem like an invention, but it really is cotton fabric. Now, before the Industrial Revolution, people used to use wool for their clothes. And I've put a nice big cross around the sheep because after the Industrial Revolution, wool wasn't used as much. We still use wool for lots of things, but not so much for our normal, ordinary clothes. So as the sheep grew, they would shear the sheep, take the wool, and it would be a very long procedure to get it from sheep to clothes. And the one problem with sheep is that you could only shear them only ever so often. The sheep wool would have to grow back before you could shear more, things like that. Until cotton fabric was found. Cotton, the plant, is readily available pretty much all year round, and it grows a lot faster than sheep wool. And the other benefit to cotton fabric is that it's much easier to wash and dry. It's a lot thinner. Sheep wool would take a really long time to dry because it's really thick, and cotton fabric is more breathable, less likely to shrink, and just in general, a lot cheaper to produce. Then we've got the spinning jenny. On the left-hand side here, this is what is a spinning wheel. And what they would do with this wheel is they would take the sheep wool and they would attach the wool into the spinning wheel and make it into thread. How this works is that the wool would get spun really tightly into these long strings of thread before it could be used to make into fabric. The problem with the spinning wheel, however, was that it could only do one reel of thread at a time. But the spinning jenny, on the other hand, could do multiple at the same time. So you can see it's pretty much the exact same concept, except we've added lots and lots of little reels of threads here, making the job a lot faster. Then we've got the threshing machine. Back before the Industrial Revolution, wheat was picked by hand. So we've got the stalk of the wheat and we've got the little wheat bits at the top. And people would have to spend ages taking off each grain by hand. The threshing machine, however, did this for you. So you would load the wheat into the threshing machine, and as the threshing machine, as it gets pushed through the threshing machine, the grains and the stalks would be separated, making a job that used to take hours now pretty much done in a couple of minutes. And then finally, we have the mechanized loom. So on the left-hand side here, you can see that this is a normal loom. So what this would be is somebody would be sitting in the back here, and they would have to use a thread attached to a bobbit, and they would have to make each line of fabric individually. I mean, if you look at your clothes and you look at what each line of fabric looks like, each line of thread looks like, it takes a really long time. The mechanized loom, on the other hand, did it by itself. All you had to do was turn it on. You still had to attach the threads to it, but then it would pretty much loom and weave itself to make it nice and easy. Now, the one thing you need to know about these machines is that they did make life a lot better for people, but it also made people very, very angry. But we'll be talking about how people were affected by the Industrial Revolution in the next video. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a summary of some of the inventions made in the Industrial Revolution. Good luck for any history tests coming up. If you enjoyed my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Ciao!